Like any other computer program, when you first start using iMovie, it might seem a little intimidating, but it's actually very easy to use. Once you learn the basics, you'll be making your own movies in no time. The first thing to know about iMovie is that it's organized into different zones that do different things. The first zone is the event library. Think of it as a container for all the movie clips you have recorded. The second zone is the event viewer. This is where you will view your movie clips. The third zone is the project window. This serves two purposes. It lists all of your movie projects and also provides a space for you to work on them. The fourth zone is the preview window. Whatever you are working on at the moment, you'll see it here. And the last zone is the special effects area. This is probably the most fun part about iMovie. Adding special effects in the form of music, photos, titles, transitions, and backgrounds. The best way to learn is by doing, so let's create a little sample movie project and go through all the steps of iMovie production. Suppose I want to make a movie that introduces my pet cats. Where do I start? Well, the first thing I'm going to need is some video footage, and perhaps some photos as well. Now there are many ways to do that. Perhaps you have a smartphone that records movies, or maybe you have a tablet. You might even have a digital video camera. It really doesn't matter. iMovie will import your video footage and photos from any source. So let's go ahead and do that. I imported some video footage earlier, creating an event in my event library called My Cats. But I'm going to import some more now, just to show you how easy it is. All you have to do is choose Import Movies from the File menu. Then choose the movie footage on your computer. At this point, you might be asked if you want to create a new event. That's fine, but I already have an event created, so I'm just going to add my footage to that. And the new imported footage is added to the My Cats event. Notice how when you mouse over the video footage, you can see it in the preview window. This is a fantastic way for you to quickly look over all the footage you have imported. So now that we have what we need, let's make a movie. We'll need to create a new project. That's easy to do by choosing New Project from the File menu or clicking the New Project button. I'll just give this one the name My Cats. Now we can get started by dragging video footage from our event into the project. Here's where the preview window is very useful. You can pick and choose the best bits of footage that you want to include in your movie. So that's what I'm doing right now. I'm dragging a little bit of footage from each cat from the event viewer into the project window. You can also include photos in your project. The easiest way to include them is to simply drag and drop them from anywhere into your project. I actually have some photos right here on my desktop, so I'm just going to drag them directly into the project window. Okay, now that we have some video footage and photos in the project, let's do some editing. Editing is simply trimming our footage and adding special effects until our video looks exactly the way we want. The simplest editing is just moving clips and trimming them. Here, I'm using my mouse to select a small amount of footage that I don't want, and then I just hit the delete button to get rid of it. Don't worry, as long as you are in the project window, you really haven't completely deleted the footage. It's still available in the event window, just in case you want to use it again. Now let's spruce up our movie by adding special effects. I like to group them into 4 major categories: video editing and effects, music and sound effects, titles, and transitions. Let's start with some examples of video editing and effects. Here's something simple to remember. There are a lot of editing functions available to you by right-clicking your mouse. For example, you can easily split a clip, create a freeze frame, and much more. If you double-click any piece of footage, you'll see more editing and effect functions. For example, we can speed up or slow down the clip by moving this slider. Or we can apply special video effects. I can make this cat look like an X-ray, or I can apply a cartoon effect, or maybe make it look like an old-time movie with the sepia effect. There are a lot to choose from, so just experiment. Notice when you roll over any clips or photos in your project, you'll see a small button appear that gives you access to a precision editor. For example, we can access things like cropping and the Ken Burns effect. Actually, the Ken Burns effect would be good to use as an example on one of these photos. To do this effect, select what areas you will be zoomed in on at the start and end of the effect. So I'll just set the start point to be the whole photo, but the end point will be just the cat's face. And as you can see, it produces a really neat zooming effect. Now let's move on to working with music and sound effects. Let's click on the note symbol in the special effects window, and we'll see that iMovie is connected to our iTunes collection, making it easy to choose music we might want to use. A word of caution here though, when you use effects from other sources, make sure you respect copyright. Don't use what you don't have permission for. Adding music to your movie couldn't be easier. Just drag it to your project window and you'll have a couple of choices. You can add the music to a specific clip, or you can drop it in the background and it will play your entire movie. So I'll do both, just to show you how it works. Let's start by adding it to a specific clip. You can see that once you've got the music added, you can double click on it and make some adjustments, such as adjusting the playing time or changing the audio level. If the music is too loud, you can lower the volume by simply adjusting this slider. If you want to get rid of the music, you can easily delete it by selecting it and hitting delete. And then if you want, you can add it back in as a background music piece. Again, to do that, just drag and drop. It's that easy. Now let's move on to titles. To access the titles, just go back to the Special Effects window and you want to click on the letter T. You'll see a large choice of title types. The best way to learn about these is to have fun and experiment. For example, I'll choose this echo effect and drag it on top of a clip and use it to name my cat. To do so, just select the text and type whatever you want. When you click the Fonts button, you can choose from a variety of different text styles. Now, if you don't like the resulting effect, you can just double-click on the title in the project window and experiment with other title effects. And you'll see your title change in real time. Note that you can click on this new title in the project window and move it around, or change the length. In fact, you can do that with almost any iMovie effect. The last special effect is transitions. Again, these are accessible through the Special Effects window. Just click on the transition symbol. A transition is a way of moving from one scene to another. For example, if we carefully examine the change in this movie as it moves from one cat clip to another, the change is quite sudden. So if we go over to the Special Effects window, click on that transition symbol, you'll see plenty of choices for adding a smoother or more interesting transition. For example, I might use cross dissolve, which blends the two scenes together. And as you can see, it makes the scene change much smoother. By double-clicking on the transition in the project window, you can experiment with other effects. Just mouse over some of them. You'll see the new transition in real time. Be sure to try them all. you're bound to find something you like. So once you've settled on how you want your movie to look, it's now time to export it. This last step offers you some choices, but they are all pretty easy to understand. The easiest way to do this is choose Export Movie from the Share menu. You'll have some choices based on size. For example, if the end goal is to put your movie on YouTube, you probably want to choose Large or HD. But if you're just sending the movie in an email, you probably want to choose Tiny. Well, that's it. I hope you enjoyed this tutorial. Have lots of fun using iMovie.